To truly educate all students at Yale, we should all be exposed to things that make us uncomfortable, that challenge our viewpoints, that make us reconsider what we thought or where we came from or where we're going. And that is something that the Buckley program has been extremely helpful in doing. It has brought a new kind of discourse to campus and continues to do so through its events and through the way that it encourages students to think differently.
The best way to combat groupthink is to provide a model that expresses how to engage with different opinions and different ideas. And that's what the Buckley program does so well.
One of my favorite parts of the Buckley program are the debates where we bring in these people, usually scholars from think tanks or professors around the country, to discuss very important issues, kind of current issues. We've had debates on the minimum wage, public education, and versus school choice or community schooling. And there's one I went to last year on healthcare, specifically focusing on kind of Obamacare, effects of the Affordable Care Act. And I'm actually on the Affordable Care Act right now, and was concerned about the idea that it could go away, and also concerned about the problems that it has. But instead of looking and listening to protests about the issue, which is how a lot of other Yale students deal with very substantive economic debates or other social ones, this is much more informative to me as a person who's directly dealing with this in my family, was to be able to hear two scholars give detailed descriptions of the issue, to have an open debate following the talk about it, and that to me is much more productive. And I found that Buckley debates and Buckley events throughout the year all attempt to do that.
I enjoyed the Ben Carson speech last semester, and it was really neat to not only hear him in person after seeing the presidential election and seeing him on screen so much, but also the reception afterwards, where some of the Buckley fellows got to meet him in person and shake his hand and talk to him. Having that sort of one-on-one interaction with people is not something that you get to do in a lot of situations, so it's something that we're very lucky to have with the Buckley program.
I've been to dozens of lectures and talks and dinners that the Buckley program has put on. I'd say the number one for me was getting to meet and talk with J.D. Vance, who wrote Hillbilly Elegy, a book of extreme personal relevance to me. He has become quite well known for this book, and it's a book that in some ways people attributed to an explanation of the recent election outcome, and I was just thrilled to be able to talk with him. I got to go to a dinner with him and ask him questions, shake his hand, talk about the book with him, so that was really a meaningful opportunity that I would not have had otherwise without the Buckley program.
I love one thing that the Buckley program does is the spring break seminar programs. So this year, the program, so this is my sophomore year in the spring, focused on Tocqueville. And we had Patrick Deneen from Notre Dame lead the discussion. And that was incredible. This year I'm actually taking a class on Tocqueville. It's a close reading of Democracy in America, every single page, along with his Beaumont, his traveling companion, and his contemporary writers and his influence as well. And now I actually find myself referring to those notes that I took vigorously during the Patrick Deneen seminar, because he really offered incredible insight into the book that I'm bringing into class with me every week now.
I faced a lot of backlash for expressing my conservative views, whether in the classroom, at the dinner table, within my own suite of friends. I've had people tell me I'm too conservative to live with. I've had professors compare me to followers of Lord Voldemort. I've had teachers tell me that my views were problematic. The Buckley program has given myself and countless others the inspiration to really speak out on conservative issues and defend our values on a liberal campus.
The Buckley program is actually one of the most inclusive, to use that word that's often thrown around so much on the left, one of the most inclusive organizations on campus. And that's because, as I referred to earlier, everything is fully funded. At the Buckley program, I don't have to worry about cost. There's no barrier for me to access all the wonderful, opportunities that the Buckley program provides.
The Buckley program provides a great service because it brings people together united and gives you resources to engage with speakers and gives you the courage to share your thoughts with other students and see that it's okay to share your opinions in the classroom, or it's okay to share your opinions with people that disagree with you. That's actually what you should be doing at a university, because we're here to learn, and the best way to learn is to engage with ideas that you don't agree with.
Free speech and intellectual diversity shouldn't be partisan issues. The first person I ever met at a Buckley event was a liberal who had voted for Obama in 2012, yet she loved free speech and understood its importance on Yale's campus. So the Buckley program really is for everyone.
I think it's amazing how much the program has grown, not only since I joined as a sophomore, but since the program started a few years ago. And I think that really testifies to the need that we've had on this campus for these sort of forums.
And so what the Buckley program brings is the sort of missing and waning element of diversity in Yale's teaching and Yale's thought that can really give a student a more holistic perspective and challenge them in a meaningful way so as to live up to that goal of a liberal arts education.